Ooh, welcome back, MDH Spooky Podcast. I'm here with Spooky Elliot.
Happy
And you
Halloween!
go, ooh.
No.
I'm here with Harold. Could you go, ah? I'm scared.
Happy July, June 18th.
July. We got some spooky creepypastas that Harold's gonna read out to us. Which ones have you got, Harold?
I have two.
We'll
You
we'll
only
find
said
more.
two.
We'll find more.
Yeah, you can
Fine.
find more.
You give me more. You just message them.
Wait, let's
Right.
go to this.
Starting off with a classic. My favorite,
You find them.
Peppa Pig, Daddy Pig's Revenge.
I like this one.
This story all started when I was a little boy. I loved Peppa Pig, but what I watched scared the frick out of me! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. One time, I was going downtown to find some Peppa Pig DVDs, as you do. But everywhere I would go, I could not find anything. I was about to give up and go home, but I found one more shop. It was Walmart. I asked myself, why is Walmart in the United Kingdom? So I took a look. There was a bunch of DVDs of shows
Honestly,
like Pingu, Bear in the Big Blue House, Teletubbies, and even Arthur. I've seen almost every
Arthur.
episode of those shows, but never seen the episodes on the DVDs. I look around and find a Peppa Pig DVD with 2 episodes called Daddy Pig Loses the Race, Daddy Pig's Revenge. I decided to buy the DVD because it was the only Peppa Pig DVD there. I put it in my DVD and played all episodes. The beginning of the first one was normal, except in the background it was nighttime and there was blood on the title. I knew something was wrong then. The episode started off with Peppa and her family watching TV. Daddy Pig said he wanted to race in something. The Olympics, maybe? The next day, Daddy Pig was in the race with some people also racing, and then the race started. Daddy Pig was struggling to get first, but then he tripped over and came last place, and then he lost. Daddy Pig so sad. So Peppa and her family had to go home. Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig were in bed. Mummy Pig were asleep, but Daddy Pig was awake with hyper-realistic eyes, and he looked very angry. I have to get revenge on everyone. They have to pay for it. Episode ended. The next episode didn't have intro. It started with Daddy Pig going outside, killing everyone. Peppa woke up and saw him kill everyone. Then Peppa Pig screamed
Wait, stop.
silently.
Hold up. So it went like Peppa Pig, and then like Daddy Pig gets the chainsaw out.
The next episode didn't have intro, if you remember,
Oh, it
actually.
didn't?
Yes, it just started with Daddy Pig going outside killing everyone. Peppa woke up and saw him kill everyone. And Peppa Pig screamed silently and ran down the cellar.
scream silent.
Then Daddy Pig went home and went into Peppa and George's room. And then
Okay.
Daddy Pig holded the axe in the air. Then George woke up and gasped. And then screen went black and Daddy Pig chopped him up.
Oh, no.
George's crying sounded just like his crying from episode Lunch. And even Daddy Pig said, "Oh now, George." But it sounded like Grandpa Pig. After that, the screen went to normal. And Daddy Pig then killed Mummy Pig. Then he got grenade and threw at Susie Sheep's house and school. After that, Peppa Pig got out of the cellar and called the pig cops about Daddy Pig. Mrs. Rabbit tried to get Daddy, but she got chopped up to pieces too. After that, everyone in Peppa Pig Land, including Peppa, tried to stop him, but he had an RPG and shot it at everyone, including Peppa. Then Daddy Pig said to the screen with hyper-realistic eyes that were bleeding, "You humans, I will kill all of you! You made me lose, and you made me do this! You're next, barnacle head!" Episode ended. I was so scared that I got
Wow.
nightmares about the episode. I tried telling some of my friends, but nobody believes me, except my best friend. I showed him the DVD and he got scared also. but I am beware. Daddy Pig is somewhere, and I will find out who made this. By Tyler Dean, 2004.
Thank you, Tyler D.
Thank you, Tyler Dean. That was fantastic.
I'm about 99% sure that's a parody one, but
Yeah.
still, good shit, Tyler Dean, 2004.
It was a good one. It was a good
No,
parody.
2004 could be his birth year, right? Meaning he'd be like...
When was it written?
Fuck. There's this really funny Halo
2
one
years ago?
that
Okay.
I remember reading when I was like 14 with Rory. It was so fucking funny.
Shout out to Rory. Check out
Shout
his
out
channel.
to Rory.
Shout out to
MDH
Rory. It was
channel.
really funny. It was like 700 words, but it was just so fucking bad. It was like, oh, I want to find it now. I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's really good. All right, the next one is called Squidward's Suicide. I'm pretty sure this is a real one, so I just want to start off by saying that if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed because there just isn't one. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't. But it did have some perks beyond education. To adults, it might not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would shit themselves over it. Now, since I worked directly with the editors and animators, I got to view the next episodes days before they aired. I'll get right into it without giving too many unnecessary details. They had recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity,
Wait,
so it took
which
them longer
SpongeBob
to start up the season. Fucking the one with
The original,
the one with Ocean Man.
Yeah, the original.
David
But the
Hasselhoff
delay
and,
lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the Series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back several months. Me and two other interns were in the editing room, along with the lead animators and sound editors for the final cut. We received a copy that was supposed to be called Fear of a Krabby Patty and gathered around the screen to... Now, given that it isn't final yet, animators often put up a mock title card, sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles such as Have Sex Doesn't Work, instead of Rockabye Bye Veil, when SpongeBob and Patrick adopt the sea scap. Nothing particularly funny, but work-related chuckles. So when we saw the title card, Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think of it more than a morbid joke. One of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. The happy-go-lucky music plays as normal.
I'm immersed.
The story
Thanks.
began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes, just like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside, and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says, okay, and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screen comes up and we get to see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is where things begin to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with animation, so yes, that's not common. But when he stops playing, the sound finishes, as if the skip never happened. There is a slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not normal cartoon booing that's common in the show, but you could very clearly hear the malice in it. Squidward in full frame looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in center frame. He too is booing, very much unlike him. That isn't the oddest thing though. What is odd is everyone had hyper-realistic eyes. Very detailed.
Why is
Clearly,
that such a common
Why is that in both of them?
hyper realistic eyes?
what, you guys don't ever turn on SpongeBob and see everyone having hyper-realistic eyes, and then blood comes down the side, and Squidward reaches out and eats your ass!
It's out in RPGs.
With an RPG. Very detailed. Certainly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children. The shot goes to Squidward, sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part, though, is there is no sound. Literally, no sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly. He just sat there, blinking in silence for about 30 seconds. Then he began to sob softly. He put his hands, bracket, tentacles, close bracket, over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute more. all while the sound in the background very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest, a fart in the wind. The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By
Yeah,
slow,
what?
I mean it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart, side by side. His sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit, as if it twists upon itself for a split second, then back to normal. The wind through the trees sound gets slightly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerie part is the sound, and Squidward's sobbing sounded real, as if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes and the sound was coming through from the other side. As good as the sound in the studio likes to have, they don't purchase the equipment to be that good to produce sound of that quality. Below the sound of the wind sobbing, very faint, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second, so you had a hard time pinning it down. We watched this show twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I've had time to think about it. After 30 seconds of this, the screen then blurred and twitched violently and something flashed over the screen as if a single frame was replaced. The lead animator poured and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloody, one eye dangling over his upturned face. Pop! He was naked, down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open and his entrails laying beside him. He was laying on a pavement that was probably a road. The most unsettling part was there was a shadow of the photographer. There was no crime tape, no evidence tags, no markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designated to be evidence. It would seem the photographer was the person responsible for the child's death. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping it was some kind of sick joke. The screen flips back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, and half body and frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes. The blood was... The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, looking as if you touch it, you'd get blood in your fingers. The wind sounded now as if there was a gale blowing through the forest. There was even a snapping sound of branches. The laughing a deep baritone lasting at longer intervals, coming more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but we knew we had to. This time, the photo was that of what appeared to be a little girl, no older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach. Her barrettes were... Barrettes? Barretties. Oh, fuck, I don't know what that is. In a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was too popped. Her left eye was too popped out and popped. What? Her left eye was too popped out and popped, naked, except for underpants. Her entrails were piled on top above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on a street, and the photographer's shadow was visible, very similar in shape and size to the first. I had to choke down vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out. The show resumed. About 5 seconds after this photo played, Squidward went silent, as did all the sound, like it was when the scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyper-realism, like the others were in the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. He stared at the screen, as if watching the viewer. After 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud, and most fear-inducing of all is his sobbing was mixed with screams. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep-voiced laughing. And this time, the still photo lasted for a good 5 frames. The animator was able to stop it on the 4th and backed up. This time,
God,
the photo was of a boy, about the same age, but this time the scene was just different. The entrails were just pulled out from a stomach wound by a large hand. The right eye popped and dangling, blood trickling down from it. The animator proceeded. It was hard to believe, but the next one was different. But we couldn't tell what. He went on the next, the same thing. He went back to the first and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor. The animating and sound editors gasping at the screen. The 5 frames were not as if they were 5 different photos. They were played out as if they were frames from a video. We saw the hand slowly lift out the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focused on it. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink. The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call the creator about this. Mr. Hillenberg arrived within about 15 minutes. He was confused as to why he was called down here, so the editor just continued the episode. Once the few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound stopped again. Squidward was just staring at the viewer, full frame of the face for about 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out, and a deep voice said, "Do it!" And we see in Squidward's mouth a shotgun. He immediately pulls the trigger. Realistic blood and brain matter splatter the wall behind him, and his bed, he flies back with a force. The last 5 seconds of the episode show his body on the bed, on his side, one eye dangling on what's left of his head above the floor, staring blankly at it. Then the episode ends. Mr. Hillenberg obviously is angry about this. He demands to know what the hell is going on. Most people had left the room at this point, so it was just a handful of us to watch it again. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety on it in my mind and caused me horrible nightmares. I'm sorry I stayed. The only theory we could think of was that the file was edited from someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to analyze what happened. The analysis of the file showed it was edited over by new material. However, the timestamp of it was a mere 24 seconds before we began viewing. All equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware as well as glitches, as if the timestamp may have glitched and shown the wrong time, but everything checked out. We don't know what happened to this day, and nobody does. There was an investigation, but nothing came of it. No child was identified and no clues were gathered, nor data from the data, nor physical clues from the photos. I never believed in the unexplainable phenomena before, but now I have something happen and can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence. I think twice about things, and then I shoot myself.
Whoa.
Wow. 9 out of 10. Scary, good job. But thing that made it 9 for me was that it all happened in a cartoon. Thank you, Adams Clavinus. This one is legend.
Okay,
Wow.
do you want to hear the 17 creepypastas that are guaranteed to keep you up at night? These are all just like the obvious ones, is the problem. Fuck.
Well, you guys look for something. I'll give you a refresher. I got one right here. This is a classic. It's called Half-Life: Full Life Consequences. It's about a man called John Freeman, who was Gordon Freeman's brother, was one day in an office typing on computer. He got an email from his brother that said aliens and monsters were attacking his place and asked him for help, so he went. John Freeman got his computer shut down and went on the platform to go up on the roof of a building where he left his motorcycle and normal people close because he was in his office lab coat. John Freeman got on his motorcycle and said, "It is time for me to live up to my family name and face the full life consequences." So he had to go. John Freeman ramped off the building and did a backflip and landed it. He kept driving down the road to make sure there was no zombies around because, obviously, he didn't have a weapon. The countrysides were nice, and the plants were singing and the birds and the sun was almost down from the top of the sky. The mood was set for John Freeman's quest to help his brother where he was. John Freeman looked around the countryside and said, "It is good day to do what has to be done by me and help my brother to defeat the enemy." Here John Freeman saw the first monster because the cop was possessed and had head crabs. "I can't give you my license, officer," John Freeman said. "Why not?" said the head crab officer back to John Freeman. "Because you are head crab zombie." So John Freeman shot the officer in the head and drove off thinking, "My brother is in trouble," and went faster. John Freeman had to go faster like the speed of sound and got there fast because Gordon needed him and where he was.
Okay, now it's getting spooky. Harold, come back.
Oh no. The Freemans are hacking his internet. They don't want us to know the story of the Freemans.
That's the creepiest thing yet. You couldn't get the words out. He's gone with it.
Unhacked?
Yeah.
He's unhacked.
What happened?
He's back.
Well, that one hacked me, so I can't finish that one.
It's lost.
Yeah, that's the real creepypasta. Alright, what's the next one?
Not
There was a Reddit one I read on holiday.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can find that or not. Probably
What,
not.
Like on Reddit or about Reddit?
It was like on Reddit. I downloaded like the Reddit app like a week before I went on holiday. And Reddit didn't use much internet, so I spent a lot of my time using like the 0.1 megabyte, 0.1 gigabyte data that I had access to abroad, just reading Reddit. And on the homepage, I got recommended a bunch of like the r/creepy or whatever subreddit it was. And there was this one. I want to find it now.
Oh, the fucking Reddit one, where it's like, yeah, it's called No Sleep. That's the one with like, that's the one with like 50 million, fucking stupid.
Yeah.
All right. This one is called Abe's Amazing Videos, Elmo's Suicide. Did you know there's a YouTube channel out there which is made by a young boy named Abraham Stoker, and his channel's name is Abe's Amazing Videos. It's about Abraham making plush videos, movie reviews, and game reviews. He's usually a fan of one of the popular angry game reviewers on YouTube, the Angry Game Video Nerd on the Cinemassacre channel. He even likes Elmo from Sesame Street, and he also has dolls, toys, puppets, and plushies of him and some of the other Sesame Street characters. He also likes Mario and kind of likes SpongeBob, and he loves DC and Marvel superheroes such as Batman, Superman, and of course, Spider-Man, and even does the actions of Batman in his videos, and even likes SML, SMG4, and Smosh. His channel doesn't seem to be as much popular as SML and others, but there's one time that there was a video that ruined my childhood and me liking his channel. My name is Zach, and I happen to be a fan of AAV and one of his subscriber. So, one night when my parents were out at dinner, I was being babysat by my friend Jessica. I was on YouTube on my tablet, seeing if there's a new video from Abraham, and it turned out there was, except it was a bit odd about what it was called. Elmo's Suicide. It was kind of strange and not very kid-friendly.
Oh, Elmo's Suicide.
That his mum lets him say hell in his videos now. So, I played it, and the intro seemed very slow and very hard to hear, as if it were in a deep voice, and it was all static, like it was being played by an old VHS. It had a title after the intro saying in a very red blood-stained way, and was called Elmo's Suicide. I was kind of horrified at this. It started with Elmo sleeping in his bed, and Bruce, which we know that's acted by Abraham himself, was trying to wake up Elmo, and told him it was time to go to his concert at Live Later. Okay, Bruce, Elmo replied back. Then it cuts to the scene of the concert, which we remember from the Elmo Live video, and Elmo started doing the same thing that he did in that video. Then the audience started booing at him and saying, "Nobody cares about you, Elmo! Leave now!" Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Then Elmo started crying and ran away home. I was kind of disappointed and felt really bad for Elmo. Then it showed a shot of Elmo in bed under his covers, sobbing very hard, and it didn't seem like Abraham that voices him. It sounded like real grown man crying. It then started getting static again, and Elmo said, "Why doesn't anyone like me?" Then Elmo decided to get knife from kitchen and started stabbing his stomach, and blood started coming out. And Elmo screamed and crying even louder and harder in manly way. The blood wasn't even looking fake like the blood he actually uses in his horror videos. It was hyper realistic, very real blood. What the fuck is this? I shouted with fear, and it faded black, and Bruce came to Elmo's room to cheer up Elmo, but he was absolutely terrified of what he saw. "What the hell?" he shouted. Then Elmo wakes up as a possessed zombie and had very sharp claws and teeth, and his eyes were bloodshot red with black on the outside, and his eyes were bleeding, and there were bloodstains on his eyes, and it said in a deep voice, demon voice, "You all made me do this!" Elmo screamed. Elmo then started attacking Bruce and biting him to death, and Bruce started screaming in pain and cried very loudly in the top of his lungs in the hyper-realistic voice. The more of the real-looking blood came out, and he died. Then Elmo started attacking the camera to be a very terrifying jump scare, and it went to static, faded to black, and the episode ended.
Oh, no.
The jump scare gave me a heart attack, and I even screamed, and my tablet crashed. Then I started asking my parents for a new tablet, and they bought one for me for my birthday. Later, I tried to see the video again, and it's been deleted by Abraham, which I assume that his mum told him to do because of how serious and scary the video was. Then I commented on his latest video about the video I watched and asked him why he would make such a fucked up video like that. But he replied to me and said that he was sorry and about the video, and the blood in the video was actually seemed to be a full jar of blood of another person that he found in a trash can, and then he threw it back in after the video he made and reviewed. He said never to talk about the video, and that was it. I decided to unsubscribe and stop watching Abe's amazing videos for a while. And if you see something like that, well, don't ever watch it unless you want to have nightmares like I have lately, so be careful of what you watch, or you might end up like me. Wow.
That was the scariest one,
I can't believe Elmo would stab himself and scream in manly, hyper-realistic voice.
yeah. And how could you must have been a lot of blood, because like blood did with Elmo, right? Like, if he's bleeding, it's not like you could see much for contrast, right? You would have to
What are
have
you talking about?
Elmo's red.
It's hyper-realistic.
Yeah, exactly. And that means it's hyper red, like Elmo. Maybe Elmo's not red, and it's just his blood. You ever thought about that?
Ever thought about that? You've got a point.
It's red Elmo. But he's not. He's actually like white. It's like a polar bear normally, but it's just constantly going to the kitchen to get knife.
Do you want to know something? I don't think you guys know this, but there are exactly 17 people on this earth fated to kill you. And if you somehow manage to avoid these 17 people during your lifetime, you are taken to a place of monumental beauty where you are stripped of all clothing and branded on the space just above your navel with a name. When you are sent back to Earth, it's your mission to kill that person.
Wow.
That's true.
Whose name would you want the most or least?
Pickle Rick.
You
And
couldn't
Pickle
kill him,
Rick
though.
for name on his navel as well.
Wait, Pickle Rick for most or least?
Well, both. I want my name on his forehead and his name on mine.
I thought you said navel.
Shut the fuck up, retard.
I found it.
What, Pickle Rick?
Yeah, I found Pickle Rick. That's who I've been
Isn't
branded
that-
to kill.
Pickle Rick
would
is
not want
in the
Pickle Rick.
house.
No, neither would I. I would want Marshall.
Wow. I'd want
What,
like
to kill
I was
you or
gonna
to-
say
to
Chabuddy
kill?
G,
To kill.
but if you thanks, man.
I would want DJ Khaled to kill me.
It's
can't think of a
3,000
higher
words
honor.
long though. Yikes.
Why would why didn't you want like someone who couldn't kill you to have the name?
No, I want
You
DJ
couldn't kill
Khaled.
me. DJ Khaled? You want to
Have,
kill
like-
DJ Khaled?
No, I want DJ Khaled to kill me.
Would you rather
Dude, that would be pretty low.
would you rather
Yeah.
have Adam Sandler trying to kill you or Kevin James?
Oh, don't get us started.
No, we're not doing this again.
Bad bit.
The answer is Kevin James, though.
I agree. No, I don't. Wait, do I? No, I
Yeah,
think
Kevin
I
James is fucking obese man who leeches off Adam Sandler's success. Like no memes, Kevin James every day of the week. And also memes, Kevin James still.
Okay. No memes, Kevin James.
I think
Yeah.
you
absolutely.
wanted to die previously. And now you're
I changed my mind.
I like life.
Fine. Adam Sandler, because then he'll kill me in a hilarious way, dab and yell bazinga, then go make another Jill and Jack film. Yeah, are you happy? Is that the answer you wanted, you fucking pig?
Whoa.
Right, I've got your name then.
Okay. Do you want to read the 3,000 word ass smash no sleep or not?
Has anyone else seen this man? I think he killed my friend
Is that what it's called?
by Oh Dickalicious 1.
It is actually the way I think.
My friend is dead.
Oh.
She's been dead for a long time, so please no condolences. People die, you know, and I'm glad to have spent any time with her at all. Anyway, back in high school we used to pass notes in class. Not in any conventional means, though. We had this entire notebook just dedicated to us passing notes. We'd fill up pages upon pages, and when my friend died a couple years back, her mother saw her notebooks and offered to let me take some of them, because she knew how important they were to me. At first, she said she wanted to keep all the diaries, but I convinced her to part with them. She wants them published, I told her mum. I've got her friends, I can get it done for cheap.
Wait,
Reluctantly.
hold up. Did you say
Yeah?
the mum wanted him to have them, and then did he immediately say she didn't want
No.
them?
No. The mum wanted him to have some of them, and then he lied to her and said she wanted me to publish them, and the mum was like, okay, I guess, I'll do it. She wanted to honor her daughter's memory.
Alright, okay, carry on.
I didn't get around to reading the journals until just recently. Her death is still a bit of a sore subject for me because no one could figure out how she died, so it took a while to get comfortable with it. I finally started sorting through the entries. I didn't want to publish anything she didn't want to be published. Nothing that could incriminate her family, stuff like that. Her family had personal issues about what she wrote about, and it wasn't about what the world's business to know that. She started recording her life when she was about 8 years old. I almost admired that kind of dedication. She was addicted to journaling and would often write multiple entries a day, but wrote at least one a day. Her life wasn't complete without it. I think she just did it for reasons like this, in case her journals could ever potentially help someone.
I know.
In this instance, I want it to help her memory, maybe solve the mystery resolving her death.
I know who she is.
Considering some of the
Hold up,
stuff I
hold up.
found,
She's
Yeah?
Did you ever see Tracy Beaker Returns on CBBC?
no.
No, Elliot.
I did see the original Tracy Beaker though.
Elliot?
I may have. I did see the
There
original
was a
Tracy
kid.
Beaker.
There was a kid called Gus.
For sure.
He had.
Was he big?
No, he looked a bit like you actually.
Was he a
But,
child?
no, he he might. I don't know, but his thing was that he had like he'd always be writing in a notebook, and he'd record like every day.
Oh, I think I remember something about that.
Yeah.
It was his like thing that was autistic.
I don't know, but
I
that's
remember
what
that.
maybe
I
he
remember
was-
that
that's what
existing.
He did. Was he just
I remember that
recorded
existing,
everything.
yeah.
And I think there was an episode where they had a fire and he like lost all of his notebooks and it was like really sad. But yeah, sorry. That's
Rip
Every
Gus.
day when you're walking down the street, every notebook that you yeet, it goes away forever. And I say, I'm going to record all of the relevant entries in this one post. This will not be a series unless I come across more information, so prepare for this to be long. I'm sorry for what it's worth, but I appreciate the help. When she was about 8 years old, my friend wrote her first entry about the man. He appeared sporadically in her entries, disappearing for years at a time. During her final month, she wrote about him non-stop. Almost every entry was about the man. At first I thought it was a case of child abuse. Someone maybe molested her, and that's what she was writing about. Sorry, just the way that's written is just like, yeah, someone molested her, yes, whatever, dude. But this wasn't the case. This is far more sinister than that. I just can't place my finger on it. These are the few entries that were made when she was 8 to 10 years old. Spelling's not perfect, but I've tried to decipher it to the best of my ability. 17th of January, 2000. I am Stefani, and I am 8 years old. I played with my dolls. I ate an apple. I saw a man. November 6th,
Wow.
2000. I
I'm gonna
saw
have
a
that on my
man.
wall.
He did not talk to me. I ate hamburger. October 11th, 2002.
2
I saw
years
a
back.
man outside. He had the brown hair. He stared at me. It scared me, so I went inside. Stefani enters adolescence here. You'll notice that she's trying to develop her own personality and writing style. These years were almost fun for me to read, minus all the stuff about the man. Unfortunately, you won't see her develop into a young woman through normal entries. I'm only posting the entries about the man. He becomes a common theme here, and then disappears for a few years. I rained a lot today, so Mum made me stay inside. That's fine, because it's... Excuse me? That's fine, because it's not like I have friends or anything. School sucks. Life sucked too, but what can I do? My birthday is in 2 months, so maybe I'll enter a better year once I'm 14. OMG. Okay. Sorry. April 2nd, 2005. OMG. Okay. I know it's the same day. Well, really, it's night now, but whatever. Deal. So, I looked outside. It's still raining. Boo. And saw the weirdest thing. There's this guy outside, just like picking up little pebbles from the street and throwing them into the gutter, drain, whatever it is. The thing that water falls down when it rains. Anyway, he just kept doing that. I watched him for like 5 minutes and that's all he did. Okay, whatever, dude. You do you, I guess. April 17th, 2005. So, I'm on the bus and the weirdest thing happened. I saw the same guy that was throwing pebbles. He was standing next to my bus and kept staring at me. Like weird, right? No one else saw him. I asked my bus driver about it, but he said no one was there. My cousin is schizophrenic, SP. So I maybe have that too. I wonder if it's like Girl Interrupted, my favorite movie.
Wow.
May 1st, 2005. I made friend today. She's totally cool. Her name is Xena because her mum likes the show a whole lot. She takes karate and likes lime ice cream. We talked at lunch and today and stuff. She's so cool. We're going to sit at lunch tomorrow too. But weird thing happened. I saw the man in the cafeteria. So creepy. But he was just lying under one of the tables looking at me. I told my mom about it. She said she was going to walk to school. May 5th, 2005. Those stupid assholes. OMFG. I know I shouldn't fucking cuss, but what the fuck ever. They told my mum I was just making stuff up and I need help. Like, excuse me. No, you help. You let creepy guys into your school, you sick fucking freaks. What if I get kidnapped? OMFG. I hate this place. I hate it. I hate everything. I hate my mum and I hate that stupid school. And I hope that guy does get me and kills me.
Wow.
May 8th, 2005.
Is it Adam Sandler?
1 month away from my birthday, and already it's
From
ruined.
this point on, I'm gonna pretend it's Adam Sandler.
Hold on. I need to fucking look up a Sandy Wexler clip so I can get the voice. Sandy Wexler. I gotta do this now.
I think it'll make this much better.
Oh fuck, I can't do Adam Sandler. Oh well. Alright. Come on, Sandy, give me the voice. Who is this? It's me, Sandy Wexler. I'm Sandy Wexler. I'm a talent manager. Alright, that's fucking good enough. I'm not gonna watch the rest of this.
Yeah, that's good enough. There's a new Adam Sandler film on Netflix, actually.
May 8th, 2005.
Yeah.
1 month away from my birthday, and it's already ruined. I have to go see a psychiatrist. Xena won't talk to me anymore because now everyone thinks I'm a schizophrenic. Still can't spell it, lol, oh well, deal. I don't get why everyone's getting so bad. Like, I'm not crazy, I see a man all the time. That's your fault, not mine. May 25th, 2005. Psychiatrist says there's nothing wrong.
Now, Adam Sandler.
I don't know.
Psychiatrist says nothing's wrong with me. This summer, Adam Sandler is the guy in the journal from written by O. Dick Alicia Stone. Adam Sandler is the girl who writes the journal. Psychiatrist says nothing is wrong with me, but I'm stressed out about something. PTSD, she says. It can make kids act out or whatever. I tried to say I wasn't acting out. I seriously see someone. She says that no one else sees him, so I must be imagining it. Okay, screw you, lady. Whatever. You're not even a real doctor. Deal. June 8th, 2005. No one came to my party except my family. Doesn't that happen in Sandy Wexler? Like he throws a party and like no one comes.
I feel like that's the
I
thing.
wish that film ended when he got the heart attack, to be honest.
So do I.
I would have actually turned it from like a 0 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Whatever. At least the man
My
didn't
favorite
show
part
up.
was when he had a heart attack and we all fucking applauded.
Fucking
And
love
then-
Sandy.
But then he didn't fucking die. God damn it.
Okay. This is the one entry she writes about the man as a teenager. September 19th, 2008. Okay, I know it sounds super crazy. It's been 3 years. 3 years since I saw the man. He looked a bit like Kevin James, but today I saw him again. It was raining, and he was throwing pebbles in the storm drain again. I watched him for as long as I could before I got creeped out and closed the blinds. Sometimes I like to read through my all journals, so I did it, and it sounds weird, but I don't remember seeing him when I was a kid.
Like, I clearly did, but I don't remember. So I'm going to write down what he looks like in case I forget again. Okay, I'm going to write it down now. This is what he looks like. He's an obese male. He has a weird mustache on his face and dresses up like a mall cop. He runs around. He has a white shirt, blue tie, a badge, a U.S. pack on his jacket. Sounds like he has hyperglycemia. He wears a big belt and drives around on a Segway all the time. It's really creepy. He wears really worn down blue pants. He's got this sunken in fat face. His lips are always drawn back. You know how you see someone decomposing in the movies and the face looks sunken in and the lips always expose their teeth? He looks like that. He probably has diabetes or some shit. It's really creepy looking at him, but I can't stop sometimes. It's like he wants me to see him. Also, he's really fat, so it's hard to look away because wherever I look, he's just there. I can't tell anyone about him. I know what will happen. My mom will take me to the psychiatrist again, and then I'll be crazy. I'm just starting to make friends again, like Alyssa. She's really nice. I looked outside and she's gone. I'm going to sleep now. Big day at school tomorrow.
These are the final few months of Stefani's journals. The man is almost in every
Stefani.
single entry.
So it
Yeah, it's her
should
name.
be called Stefani.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry. These are the final few months of Sandy's journals. The man is almost in every single entry. April 1st, 2014. It's Alyssa's birthday, and we're hanging out at the beach again. I saw the man again. He just segued through the beach. It's weird. I always see him. I keep seeing him, but he doesn't show up that often. I'm hoping it stays like that. I'm just gonna try and ignore him and get on with my life. He hasn't done anything bad to me yet. He just scared me. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's my problem. Maybe he's just a hallucination. I mean, I wish I could go back to my life ignoring him, but I can't. I can't even talk about the beast. I'm so scared. April 2nd, 2014. Alyssa's dad took us hunting. We're out camping now, but I can't sleep. I shot a deer and was so excited that I got to bring food back for everyone to go eat. But when I got there, the man he got in first. He put his finger in the bullet hole and started shouting something about his hyperglycemia. He just pressed and wiggled until the hole expanded. He kept tearing through the skin and kept going until he got muscle lower to his face and eat. It was like he didn't notice me. He just kept eating the deer I shot while yelling about hyperglycemia. I couldn't help it. I screamed and ran back to the camp where Alyssa and her dad met me. I lied and said I saw her snake, started in panic. I don't think they believed me. 3rd, 2014. I heard Segway noises outside my tent. And I turned around and the man was in the tent when I woke up. April 9th, 2014. I got a package today, opened it up. It was a big... Yeah.
The man was in the tent when she woke up.
Yeah.
And then she...
She heard Segway noises. Sorry, he heard Segway noises before he went to sleep. I didn't read that part accidentally.
Yeah, and then the man was in the tent.
Yeah, and then she went to sleep and woke up and the man was in the tent.
And then it just goes like, next day.
Yeah,
yeah,
Why isn't
yeah.
there anything about like what happened afterwards? Surely that's
I don't
they're,
know.
like within arm's distance.
It's probably because Sandy Wexler forgot. The man disappeared. He
No,
vanished.
it's like the
Yeah,
the
literally,
Doctor Who
it's
things.
just-
What are they called?
Silence.
Yeah, them.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, anyway.
I got a package today. I opened it up. It was a big book. Wow, a photo album. I don't know who it came from, but I looked through it anyway. At first I thought it was an album chronicling a little girl's life as she grew up, but as I looked closely, I noticed something off. In every picture, there was just brown blur behind it. I put it on my computer and examined it. As she got older, the images got clearer. In every single picture, there was a man going incredibly fast on a Segway. Halfway through, the album stopped. No pictures, nothing. I flipped back a page in case I missed something. On the back inside cover, someone wrote, "It consumes." Someone's fucking with me. I don't know who or why, but I'm being fucked with, and I'm done! Sandy Wexler is done!
April 11th, 2014.
Her name was Elizabeth Monkeys. She died when she was 26 years old. Cause of death is unknown. Foul play not suspected. Amazing what a trip to a library will teach you.
April 15th, 2014.
I found the Monseed family. At first I called them, but when I said I wanted to talk about my daughter, they hung up on me, so I visited them instead. It's a lot harder to slam the door in someone's face than it is to slam a phone on an active call. I had my foot in the door, and I told them I was a talent agency manager, so they wouldn't shut the door. I'm desperate. I told them I'm desperate, because whatever hurts that girl is trying to hurt me too. They finally let me in and told me to sit down, but I couldn't tell I could tell they didn't want me there. I showed them the photo album, and they demanded to know where I got it. I told them someone sent it to me, and I thought it was them. They said it wasn't. So I asked them when it all started, and they reluctantly told me. Elizabeth started seeing the Segway Man when she was about 5 years old. At first, they thought it was an imaginary friend, so they didn't think anything of it. But eventually, the girl got older and became distressed. They took her to a psychiatrist who determined she had PTSD, very similar fucking quacks. Fucking quacks. The years passed and she became a recluse, wouldn't eat, barely slept. Then she got just fine. For years on end, she was fine. And then it started happening again, very similar to what's going on with me. She'd be there for a few weeks and disappear for years, then come back. She always comes back. They didn't believe that Zarda really saw a man until the day she died. When the police couldn't figure out what had killed her, they realized that they'd ignore a piece of evidence. This man that they thought was imaginary, they tried to tell the police about it, but they ended up ignoring it. Years passed and they couldn't do anything about it. Their father died 10 years ago and they still never got answers. Feeling as if it was all the information I got out of them. I left, but I was making my way back to my car. Mr. Monty came out of the house and talked to me. He said his wife didn't know about this, and he tried to keep it a secret from her. But Elizabeth had been molested by a neighbor when she was very little, around 3 years old. He said he didn't know if it had any connection to what I was going through. So I said that it did, because I'd been molested when I was 6. I never told anyone about it, not even my journalist, not until just now.
Wow. Poor Sandy, that's...
Fuck. April 17th, 2014. I've been trying to find out every bit of information about this thing that I can. Unfortunately, Googling molestation imagery man doesn't yield many relevant results, so I started trying to narrow down my searches. I came across an old archive thread for the occult. I printed out the picture and pasted it below. Has anyone seen this man? 7 days, June 17th wrote, I feel like I'm going insane. I keep seeing this man everywhere. I've seen him since I was 12 years old. He pops up at random times and sometimes leaves me alone for years. I'm not an artist, so I can't draw a picture, but he's really fat. He wears a white shirt with a blue tie. He's got ratty blue pants and a big belt and short brown hair. His face looks sunken and fat too, kind of like a zombie. No one else can see him. Am I going crazy? OMFG, Melissa MC Badass, June 17, wrote, OMFG, I thought I was the only one. OMFG, I'm crying right now. I'm so scared, but also so relieved. He never talks to you, right? He just stands there and watches you or yells something about hyperglycemia or outside your house while you sleep. Fucking scary. I don't know what he wants or who he is. Where do you live? 7 days, June 17th, 2009, wrote, I live in Washington State. That's exactly where he is. How long has he been doing this to you? Melissa MC Badass wrote, I live in Oklahoma. That's so weird, and he's been doing it for the past 15 years, since I was 7. I wondered WTF's going on. Does anyone else have this experience? Melissa MC Badass wrote, bumping for visibility. I Spoil Movies wrote, Australia. Been doing this to me since I was 15. I'm 20 now. I see him almost every day. Melissa MC Badass wrote, so he's going around the world, scaring people. Great. Inkspot Sink Rocks wrote, oh my god, I'm so relieved. My son has been seeing this man. I was so scared and didn't know what to do. The psychiatrist said he was just making up an imaginary friend, but who would make a friend that scares them so badly? Does anyone know what to do? My son is 7 now. He's got the autism. It's probably more than I should mention, but he was also molested by his father when he was 4. I've since divorced the man and he's now rotting away in prison. Thank God. I was worried that the trauma really hurt him bad, but now I feel like it's also real. I can believe my baby boy. I Spoil Movies wrote, I'm sorry to hear about your son. I was also molested when I was younger. I was 11 when it happened. Melissa MC Pattis wrote, so was I. Think there's a connection? Inkspot Rocks wrote, There better damn well not be. If some sicko wants to hurt my boy, I'll fucking blow his brains out. Pardon my French, but I'm not letting anything happen to my baby. He's been through enough. I can't even tuck him at night without screaming. I don't know what to do anymore. Has anyone found out? 7 Days wrote, it consumes. Inkspot Rocks wrote, what does it consumes? I Spoil Movies wrote, OP, we could really use an answer right now. I Spoil Movies wrote, OP, question mark. Sherlock Holmes, moderator, wrote, this post has been archived. You will no longer be able to post. But a quick note, please inform the authorities if you come across this man again. If the authorities don't believe you, go to a priest. Sounds like it's a no good.
Go to a
May
Go
8th,
to a what? Sorry.
2014.
It consumes.
That was the last entry. I don't know what to make of
Go
this
to a
anymore.
what?
Go to a priest.
A priest.
If anyone has any idea what's going on, please let me know. I don't know if I should tell Stefani's mother about this or not. I don't know if I should go to the authorities. I don't know. Edited. Formatting. Edited again. Just to inform everyone, I've spent my day gathering answers. I'm washing my hands of this. Ah, it's a two-parter. Fucking.
Oh, well.
I don't think.
Oh, I'm not reading the second
So-
part. It's
No,
like
don't-
6,000
don't-
words.
don't-
Alright, here's the ending of the second part. Around 9, I finally decided to go to bed. I took a shower, I brushed my hair and teeth, I picked out a book to read. First, I reached for Hemlock Grove, but then I decided for it. Went to Harry Potter instead. I needed something magical to lift my mood. Smiley face. I checked on my phone and saw I had a missed call and a new text from Jeremy. It consumes. Oh,
Is that it? Is it the ending?
I mean, I just skipped to the ending of the second
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
I guess the second part is like she like finds a guy called Jeremy who's it's currently happening to,
Oh.
and like tells him about it, and then
Oh.
she gets a text from Jeremy saying it's consumed. So basically, he gets got at the end. So it's just
Man.
it's literally Molester Moon.
Really, really awkward when you're reading it in a silly Sandy Wexler voice and you don't know it's about to go, I was molested, and then you say in a really bad Sandy Wexler voice, I was molested, and then you keep doing it. Yeah,
Yeah, I found that when I was like on holiday.
tonally
I
appropriate.
like that one. I think that was.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. It was better once we realised who.
But it
Who
was
was-
just Kevin James.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe that Kevin James would do that.
No one's got him yet as well.
Can't keep getting away with
He
this.
consumes. That's definitely a way to describe Kevin James. He
Oh no! Oh, that's rude. Oh, that's mean.
That's gonna be the title.
You can't keep getting away with this.
No. Oh, no. God.
He consumes. Oh, alright. That was good. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you like that, we might do some more in the future.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was good.
Nah.
Alright. It's a bye from me.
Oh.
It's a bye from Elliot.
Bye
It's
bye.
a bite for me, Sandy Wexler.
Alright, thanks.
Wait a minute, there's something outside my door. Oh my god, it's on a Segway! Oh!
Couldn't see.
Oh, I can't believe we didn't notice that earlier.